This is day one. This is April 30th, 2006, and it's my first entry. Those are the first few seconds I shot for this film, so I thought it'd be a good place to start. This is a film making about my dad. Actually, it's a film about me making this film about my dad. I interviewed myself and my family members about him to get several points of view on him so that I could better understand him, because I realized that I really don't at all.
I just don't fit in this place.
So, I have about 10 minutes to delve into the psyche of a ridiculously complicated guy and to fairly portray him to a group of complete strangers. What the fuck did I get myself into?
My mind's already out of here. Won't you come along, dear? Won't you come along?
Well, my childhood was multi-layered. One of the first things that I learned about when I was about 3 was that I was adopted.
Well, we were advised by the agency to make sure that we did tell David that he was adopted, and to put it in as loving terms as possible so that he would not be unfamiliar with the word and that he would associate it with something good.
So I was given a version that made me feel really great about it, that I was special and that I was chosen. Those were words that were commonly used.
From a very early age, we started calling him our loving adopted baby, so that he was hearing those words from the very first days that we brought him home. And that continued for years.
And I can remember going outside to play with my friends and announcing that I was adopted with great, very proud of it, with great joy, and having them respond by saying, "Your mother didn't want you," and things like that. And although my adoptive mother and father were, for the most part loving, and my extended family were very loving and accepting, I always felt like they weren't my natural relatives.
To this day, I don't consider him as anything but my son.
Well, I don't think an adoptive family, in my opinion, can ever be the same.
This is entry 2. It is August 30th, 2006.
I haven't learned as many things as I expected to, really. It's more like things that I suspected have been confirmed. Like, I think that his being adopted was the seed, was the beginning of everything.
We met in a bar, and we had a really good time. He was a lot of fun, and really, very happy guy, and had a lot of big plans and a lot of energy, and he was very nice, and we hit it off.
Like, at what point did you guys decide to get married?
Well, we decided to get married when I got pregnant. Which was all good. It was all good, which was in, it was in the fall of '88.
Then on June 18th, 1989, I was born. It was Father's Day. No joke.
The fact that you were born and were our child was a source of tremendous wonderment and joy. And then I see there's a picture of your sister when she was born, and the same was and is true.
After Emma was born, he was freaked out. He was medicating himself with pot daily.
And I think it was a very, very confusing time for her. And, she saw the me who she married was slipping away.
He was seeing a therapist for years, and then we started seeing the therapist. I don't remember exactly when.
The psychotherapy is attempting to, on an assessment level, understand the phenomenology of what it feels like to be your dad. What does he experience? What is he going through?
He was not diagnosed until much later.
Really?
Much later. A couple of years later.
Well, the main things seem to circle around bipolar disorder, with periods of depression, followed by periods of hypomania. But there was a quality to some of these symptoms that seemed to go beyond what I've seen before with mood disorders. There was a persistent effort to keep trying to get up, keep trying to get out. This is not characteristic of somebody who's in a deep depression. They usually give into it, and you've got to fight with them. Come on, do something. The best way to get out of a depression is take some action. It's like he already knew that.
And what he started doing was wandering around the neighborhood, picking garbage, going through people's garbage and bringing stuff home because he wanted to fix it up and sell it.
She, at that time, gave me what, for maybe a healthy person, might have been an acceptable ultimatum, which was that I had to stop smoking pot, that I had to get a job, and things like that. But I couldn't.
That was the last straw. When he started going around the neighborhood and picking garbage and being up all night, sleeping all day, there was zero help with you guys. Zero. It was like he wasn't even there. And I told him I was leaving, and within a period of a couple of weeks, had made the arrangements and was done and never looked back.
It was the most devastating day of my life. I was hurt, which became anger.
He would come to my apartment and slip notes under the door in the middle of the night. So I'd wake up in the morning and there'd be a note under the door.
What would they say?
Nah, they were scary sometimes. They were threatening, and they were really, really angry. Threatened a lot to take you away from me. He threatened to sue me for alimony, and it was not pretty. But you guys really knew nothing about any of it. Nothing.
I'm just realizing now, as I get farther into this process, how absolutely horribly tragic this whole thing really was. He was going up in the world. He was on his way. He was on his way, and then he hit a wall. He just hit a wall, and his life has never been the same. It's never even come close to being the same.
Now, you thought you heard a sound.
My bipolar disorder is characterized by depression, very profound suicidal feelings, feeling euphoric. It makes it impossible for me to stay awake, so I sleep all the time, and it's pretty much well accepted that it's among the most painful and torturous kind of experiences to have as a human being. So I'm sorry, what was the question?
What would his life have been like if he didn't have it? That's who can predict things like that.
I can't answer that. I don't know.
Like everything would be different. Every single memory and every single aspect of myself would just be completely different.
I think that, without this tremendous kind of elephant in the room, your mother and I could have worked it out.
I have, honestly, no regrets about where we wound up. None. It was, I never ever looked back after leaving. It was not a situation I ever wanted to be in or ever thought I would be in. I mean, being married to him. But once I left, life was fine. It really was.
As I started this film, my initial idea was to try and get to know my dad, who he really is, pushing the bipolar aside. But I cannot think of, I just can't think about him without thinking about his bipolar. It's just impossible.
It's very important to me to not think of myself as ill, as chronically ill, whereas one could make the argument that I am very easily. Right, no, I've never allowed my illness to define me.
I think that he falls back on it, or not so much now. Things are different in the last 2 or 3 years, definitely.
Dad would always get, at movie theaters, like the tickets, he would get one handicapped. And it just kind of showed me, like, well, you know what, you're defining yourself as being handicapped right now.
I think his illness has defined him, whether he's let it or whether. I think the illness is a very tough illness, and it does define your life.
I don't know. This is getting kind of messy. I want to make this a good film, but I don't want to tear my family apart in the process.
Do you think, in your opinion, are you a good father?
You could answer that better than I.
He is the best father that he possibly can be. He really is. He adores you, and he would do anything for you.
I think that's one thing about him, that he's always done as much as he can. He's always loved us as much as he can, which has always been enough for me.
Like I said, it's really, I leave it up to you. You're the one who is the final arbiter of that, and I think that your opinion is the most important, don't you?
And that's what it really comes down to, isn't it? No matter what everyone else has said, it's up to me in the end. Now, they said a whole lot more than what you saw, so what I put in is going to show my own opinions. I think I did what I was attempting to, though, but there really is no conclusion. The bottom line is that everyone involved got screwed here, so there's no point in judging or placing blame, because we've all done our best with an impossible situation. The way I look at it is not that it all happened for a reason, because that's way too convenient. Shit just happens, good and bad. If it's good shit, I enjoy myself, and if it's bad shit, so it goes.
Time's come for us to pause and think of living as it was. Into the future we must cross. I'd like to go with you.